أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الائمة الراشدون المهديون. We've already covered these two lines from the point of view of Ayatullah Zia Abadi Amali. But I wanted to also share with you the reflections and discussions presented by Ayatullah Zia Abadi Marhum Rahmatullah Alayh. Ayatullah Zia Abadi, he says the following. He says, again, rushd is a special kind of insight that a person has, and based on that, he can clearly see the benefits and harms in his own life and in the lives of others. So such a person is known as Rashid or Rashid, meaning he has the quality of rushd. He has a special capacity which is internal, and he can see clearly that this is a good thing to do, this is a bad thing to do, this is a good person to be friends with, this is a bad person to be friends with. Now, if you think about it, in the very least and mundane of our activities, if we want to go away, for example, we want to go away from our home or from our business or from our workplace. We're going on holiday, for example, and we need certain things to be done in our absence. We will entrust our affairs to someone qualified who has some intelligence and wisdom who can run our affairs in our absence. And this is even in the smallest of things. Now take Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is all wise, He is Al-Hakim. Allah wants to entrust and appoint someone to run the affairs of humanity. These affairs will encompass all areas of human activity, from physical world to spiritual world, things of this world, things of the hereafter. So obviously, he will choose someone who has insight and wisdom and rushd, someone who is qualified, and hence he appoints the Imams to do this job. As we say later on in this Ziyarat of Jamia Kabira, وَاسْتَرْعَاكُمْ أَمْرَ خَلْقِهِ, He has assigned to you to supervise the affairs of His creatures. Allah being wise, Allah wanting the whole of humanity to take them in a particular direction, to reach them to a special destination. He will obviously put people in charge and entrust people to do this job on His behalf and with His guidance and support, who has rushd, who has this kind of intellect, wisdom, deep insight, be able to determine what is in the harm of humanity, what is in the benefit of humanity. And he needs to make sure that this is a person who would not allow any mistakes or threats to affect humanity. Hence, Imams alayhimus salam are Rashidun. They are with the quality of rushd. They have this deep kind of insight, and they can perceive and take people, guide them, and reach them to the destination. In addition, they are also Mahdiyun. Here we are saying that you have rushd, yes, but you are also Mahdi, meaning that you have been guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mahdi is someone who from God has been guided and who knows the destination properly. So Imams are both Rashid and Mahdi. And then we have a third quality, which we will discuss later inshallah in depth, but at the moment we'll just mention it briefly. You are also Ma'sumun. You are infallible. So here we are saying that you are infallible from all types of errors, mistakes, and sins, because yes, it is possible. If you think about it, someone can be a good manager, can be a good ruler, but it's possible that also in the course of his administration and management that he may make mistakes. Maybe he's overtaken by his desires. Maybe he could fall into some emotional issues. Maybe he can react angrily. Maybe he can make wrong decisions. Maybe he can be even trapped by shaitan or his own self. But in this case, we say the Imams, not only do they have rushd and insight, not only are they guided and they know how to guide people, but also they don't look at their own benefits. They are completely protected and infallible from all types of mistakes, issues, falling into the traps of shaitan, falling into the traps of nafs, being influenced by their own selfish desires. So in this ziyarah, we are saying that these three qualities are essential for the Imams. You can be Rashid because you are Mahdi and because you are Ma'soom. Imams have to have these qualities. And Imams are only those who have these qualities. And where do these come from? Again, let me reiterate. These come from Allah. Allah puts these things in the hearts of the Imams, in their internal constitutions. They are guided, and with this guidance from God, they know very well what they should do. They also do not make mistakes. They have no selfish desires, and they will never be prone to giving into their lusts. In the Qur'an, you look at 4:6, Surah An-Nisa, verse number 6. Allah mentions the orphan. وَابْتَلُوا الْيَتَامَ حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغُوا النِّكَاحَ فَإِنْ آنَسْتُم مِّنْهُمْ رُشْدًا فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. Allah says that, look, when the orphans, they may have property from their deceased parents that is due to come to them. But if they are very young, they're not responsible, they don't know right from wrong, they don't know how to make proper decisions, then hold on to their property until when? Until you discern in them rushd. Once that happens, فَادْفَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ أَمْوَالَهُمْ. Then give them their property. Then they can be trusted to run their affairs. So in this regard, even in regards to an orphan and small property they may receive, the Quran says they don't even give them their property until they have rushd. Even the age of bulugh is not sufficient. Maybe someone will say, oh, this means baligh. No. Just the age of a person doesn't mean that you should give them everything that they are owed. Wait until they are mature enough to make their decisions. They have to be rashid. They have to have rushd. In our belief, now we are talking about Imams of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So if an orphan is not to be given any responsibility over his wealth until he has rushd, now what would we say about Imams who are to guide the human race in its entirety, both in world and in akhirah? They will obviously have to have rushd. So we, the Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, we say that the Prophet and Imams have to be appointed by God. They have to be infallible, they have to be guided, they have to have this deep insight, and hence we say later on in this supplication, وَاسْتَرْعَاكُمْ أَمْرَ خَلْقِهِ. He has assigned to you to supervise the affairs of his creatures. What a beautiful and logical religion we have. Do you see how we have gone step by step and how we come to this conclusion? Now, Agha Zia Abadi, the next discussion he has is regarding the names of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and this is a very special discussion, full of nur and full of honor of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. He says regarding this title of the Imams, which is Mahdiyun, of course that is to be applied to all of the Imams, but for the 12th Imam, Imam Sahibul Zaman, his proper name and his proper title is Mahdi. Of course, he has many names and titles, and one scholar has written that he has 182 names and titles. Now, these names and titles of the Imams and of the infallibles, they are not like the titles we use for each other. They are not just honorific, polite titles. For example, we say someone is Sheikh, Maulana, Hujjatul Islam, Ayatullah. These are good titles, they are honorific. Okay, they are there to honor someone. But with the titles of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they are real and true titles. They really have a reality, and they all declare a particular attribute of that Imam. So the question arises that why then is the 12th Imam known as al-Mahdi? The answer is because he has a very special type of guidance. As we have said, Mahdi means one who is guided. His guidance that he has, the way he has been guided, is a very special type of guidance. It will be a guidance that will show itself without being stopped by any kind of obstacle. Nothing will be able to stop this amazing personality and guidance of Imam Zaman. In his time, under his leadership, Islam will be able to reveal itself properly. The reality of Islam will be implemented, and this can only happen at his blessed hands. Yes, again, let me reiterate, the other Imams, they were Mahdi, they are Mahdiyun according to this Ziyarat. And they were Haadi, they used to guide other people. But they could not implement Islam in this way because of the circumstances of their time. They were not able to invite all of humanity to Islam and implement the religion of Allah in the way that Imam Zaman will. Their rulers did not allow this. In any case, Let's go on to some ahadith. For example, there's a hadith of Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. He says, إِذَا قَامَ الْقَائِمْ دَعَ النَّاسَ إِلَى الْإِسْلَامِ جَدِيدًا. That when our 12th one will come, he will invite people to Islam as if, it's a new religion. وَهَدَاهُمْ إِلَىٰ أَمْرٍ. He will guide them towards Islam, the matter of Islam, قَدْ دُثِرَ. Whereas this Islam that he guides people to, it will have become, something neglected. ضَلَّ عَنْهُ الْجُمْهُورِ. Most people will have left this kind of Islam. So this sentence of the sixth Imam tells us that Islam before Imam Zaman was something neglected. But with his coming, it will have a renewal, a new illumination. It will allow humanity to reach humanity's true potential. That Islam which he will present to the world will be the true Islam. In another hadith, again, sixth Imam says, وَإِنَّمَا سُمِّيَ الْقَائِمُ مَهْدِيًّا. Our 12th one will be named Mahdi لِأَنَّهُ يَهْدِي إِلَىٰ أَمْرٍ مَضْلُولٍ عَنْ. Because he will guide people in a very special way to something that they had neglected and that they had lost. Abbas Zia Abadi then goes on to ask a very difficult question. He says, let's assess ourselves. Will we be with Imam or will we be against Imam? Now, of course, we all are hoping and praying that we will be with Imam and Imam accepts us into his group. But truly, we should be careful. Let's not be of those who are obeying our lower selves instead of worshipping Allah. Let us not obey our own desires. Let us not impose upon the Qur'an our thoughts. Rather, let us make sure that we let the Qur'an guide us by Allah's thoughts. Let us not hold on to a false Islam. Let us not be of those who on one hand we are crying out for the Imam, but when he comes, na'udhu billah, God forbid, we will be against the Imam. Now, he will, as I said, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that he will guide people to that which has been lost. But here another question comes. It is saying, Imam is saying that he will guide, not that he is guided. So then maybe a question will arise in some people's minds that should his name therefore not have been Haadi and not Mahdi? Haadi is one who guides, Mahdi is one who is guided. Abbas Zia Abadi, he replies to this and says one possible explanation for this is that if you are going to be Haadi and guide other people, first you have to be Mahdi. If you are going to be guiding other people, first you have to be guided, and that guidance comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have to be guided by God in the first place for you then to guide other people. So the reason why he is called Mahdi is because of the first step in the process. First, he is guided and then he will guide other people. So he is Mahdi from Allah, but he is Haadi for the people. Mahdi shows the link between him and Allah. Haadi shows the link between him and people. Then Ayatullah Zia Abadi goes on to commentate upon the verse from the Holy Qur'an. The verses are Surah number 11, verses 84 to 86. Qur'an says the following, وَإِلَى مَدْيَنَ أَخَاهُمْ شُعَيْبًا. To Madian we sent Shu'aib, their brother. He said to them, O my people. Now their issue was that they would not be honest in trading and business. So Qur'an says, he said, O my people, worship Allah. You have no other God besides him. Do not diminish the measure or the balance. O my people, observe fully the measure and the balance with justice. Do not cheat the people of their goods. Do not act wickedly on the earth, causing corruption. And then the famous words, Baqiyatullah khayrun lakum in kuntum mu'mineen. What remains of Allah's provision is better for you, should you be faithful. This all comes under the advice and order of Allah to be fair to people in measuring and weighing. Agha says we have to be very careful in our interaction and our trades, in our working, in our earning. The Qur'an puts a lot of emphasis upon this, and some of our troubles and difficulties is because we have a lot of unethical practices in our trade and in our business. What happens as a result? This leads to a number of things. Number one, our du'as and prayers not being answered. Number two, good advice. Do you see, for example, today we have so many lectures. YouTube is full of lectures. We are doing so many Zoom classes and all of this kind of thing. But why is it not penetrating the hearts of the people? One of the answers to that question is this: because our trading and our income and our business is not halal, this advice does not affect our hearts. Number three, if we do not change, it can affect the heart in such a bad way that supplications are blocked, calamities fall, and sustenance is restricted. Baqiyatullah khayrun lakum in kuntum mu'mineen. That the small amount which Allah has made halal is better for you if you are believers. Yes, Abbas Zia Abadi says. It is possible, of course, that by obeying Allah and avoiding haram things, avoiding unethical trading and business, yes, it is possible that from the world we will take less. It is possible that only a small amount of profit remains. But that small amount, according to the Qur'an, which is halal, is approved by God, and it is better than lots of money or wealth from haram sources. It is something that Allah will bless, and it is something that will assure you of success in this life and the life hereafter. Yes, it is possible, he says, our material life is reduced, but what will benefit you in this world and the next will be that same small amount of Baqiyatullah. Now, how do we apply this to Imam Zaman? Well, we will say that Baqiyatullah applies to Imam, who is the final Imam, the last of God's proofs. After all of the thousands of prophets and our Imams, he is better for you than anything else. But there is a condition. You also in your life have to be pleased with even a small amount of halal compared to a lot of haram. If that is the case, inshallah, Baqiyatullah khayrun lakum. That Imam will look at you with his kindness. He'll be pleased with you as his Shias. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.